Welcome to episode 14 of the Ringo Report. I'm your host, Brandon Ringo. Thank you so much for joining me. This week, there's a lot of cool stuff happening in Central Arkansas. There's a lot of cool shows, a variety of genres. There's wrestling. There's all kinds of cool stuff. So in this week's episode, the first thing I want to do is go ahead and break down the show calendar. Now, happening tonight at Vino's, American Culture, Sonic Fuzz, Pet, and Big Cloud are going to be playing, and it's more of kind of like a heavy indie, kind of like shoegazy type show. It's going to be really, really fun. Another really fun thing happening tonight is going to be at Whitewater. It's a free show featuring a touring musician named Dandelions. Her music is real like gothic and real. It's really wild, and it's going to be a crazy show. And so definitely to get this kind of entertainment for free is absolutely, awesome. So those are awesome shows happening tonight. Happening tomorrow night at Vino's, it's going to be Slut Bomb, Blackwater Sniper, which is like this, it's like a two-piece band, have power violence, like abrasive music band, but like they have like these weird costumes, and I actually tried to do a Ringo Report spotlight on them, and they said they do not do interviews. So the Slut Bomb is a really cool, badass, like heavy punk band from Cincinnati. Also, the local support on this is going to be LRM and Blast. LRM is such a cool band. Like they're all very young and they're all really badass. So this is going to be a really cool, heavy show. For something a little lighter for the EDM crowd, I know that there's a lot of people that like EDM and Little Rock, and P. for Parker is an artist that's been doing a lot of stuff, and they're going to be doing a show Friday night at Full Moon Records in Conway, so that's going to be a really cool show. Saturday is very interesting. There's literally a show happening at Whitewater and Vino's, Four Quarter, and then all of the house shows. So like it's a very busy. So I'm breaking it down. The first one, and the one that I wanted to feature first, is this. It's going to be this orchestral rendition of Dr. Dre's Chronic 2001 album at the Southwest Little Rock Event Center. That album has been very instrumental to me, and it was one of my first favorite hip hop albums, and it came out when I was in high school, and so this is definitely something, if you like that record, you want to check out, because the orchestra, they're bound to be absolutely amazing. They actually do a touring thing where they cover a lot of iconic records and stuff from like Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. and whatnot. So now happening first in the house show circuit, it's got Kings Mountain Drive and Piecemeal Pact are going to be playing at the dedicated Rock. Zilla, Diet Sweets, and Buckshot Princess are going to be playing at Sour House. And Gauze, Albany, and Numchunks are going to be playing at Grandma Lolly's Party Palace. If you don't know where these places are, message one of the bands, or you can message me and I can get you an answer on where they are. As the saying goes, ask a punk. Now, it happened at the Labyrinth on Saturday is Club Nevermore's 5-year anniversary. It's like a kind of a post-punk theme. Club Nevermore is so cool. It's like goth music and like dance music and like post-punk and like really, really cool. Like it's a really cool scene, and it's awesome that they've been able to make it this long, and I hope they keep going. I know they're doing something at the end of this month at Vino's as well to celebrate. Now happening to Saturday night at Whitewater Tavern, this show is sold out, but it's worth mentioning anyways. It's Ray Wiley Hubbard. He's a legendary country musician, and I think he came here last year. He played at Whitewater, and it was a sold out show. Now that just because it's sold out doesn't mean you can't get in. It means basically that you might get lucky. So if you really, really, really want to go and you're just now finding out about it, maybe go give it a chance. You never know, or show up super early. And then happening Saturday at Vino's, and this is something that I'll go over a lot more, is TAC Wrestling. This is one of their new events, a Brawl at the Bar. So that's going to be happening in the back room at Vino's. Happening Sunday, Wrist Meet Razor, The Requiem, From Joy, and Current Solace are all going to be playing at Vino's. Wrist Meet Razor is really cool, like kind of early, mid 2000s metalcore sounding band. I've got to listen to their new album, and it's like really badass. And so this is a really cool, like old school, like a metalcore show for people that love that early 2000s, mid 2000s metalcore type stuff. And then and the next show happening, like the next stuff we had, it's kind of, it's a little bit slower at the beginning of the week, but something that I really wanted to talk about because I think it's really cool is happening Wednesday night in Memphis at Growlers. Soul Glow, this really badass like hardcore band, Chain Snatchers is going to be opening for them. Chain Snatchers is a Little Rock supergroup of like power violence, hardcore, and like just a bunch of wonderful human beings that I just adore with all my heart. And for them to be on a show like this is a very big deal. And so if you don't have anything to do Wednesday, this would definitely be something cool to do. Because it's only like a 2-hour trip. Plus, Growlers is so cool. Like, Growlers and High Tone and Memphis are like two places that host a lot of really cool bands. They host a lot of Little Rock bands. And, I'm very grateful for them personally. My band, Mammoth Caravan, has gotten to play there with both those venues a lot. And they're both really cool. And so, another thing that's happening on Wednesday, Sour Bridges, Annie Ford, and Richard Michael Hall are going to be playing at Whitewater Tavern. So that's going to be a really cool show. Now, there's also been some really cool show announcements lately. Two really big ones. Now, this isn't exactly an underground show, but it's important to me, and a lot of people is Heart and Cheap Trick are going to be coming to Simmons Bank Arena. Heart is so cool. They're like absolutely legends of classic rock. The song Barracuda is a must play on Guitar Hero, one of those things. It was one of the first songs I learned how to play on guitar, honestly. And Cheap Trick is so cool. It's awesome that they're still going. Both classic rock institutions, probably music that your like parents would like, or whatever. And then another really a badass show happening at Reverend. One of my favorite bands since high school, Zayo, is coming back to Little Rock. They're going to be coming with Capra, Frail Body, and Zashed. This is a Heavy Hits production part of the Heavy Hits Summer of Heavy. This is going to be on August 7th. This show is going to be one you cannot miss because Zash just like awesome. They're so cool. They're such wonderful people, and for them to be playing a show this magnitude is really cool. Frail Body is really badass. But and Capra, I'm really excited because I finally get to see Capra. I know they played at the Labyrinth a couple of years ago, a really cool like low key show with like Priya and stuff. But to see them play in Reverend is gonna be awesome. And Zayo I'm so excited to see Zayo again. It's been so long. Last time I saw them, I was talking to Dan Wayne, their vocalist, in the back of Vino's, and like they were playing with like Dillinger Escape Plan, Misery Index, and like Every Time I Die. God, that was such a cool tour. And so, to get to see them again and with Capra and Zashed and Frail Body is just really awesome. Now, there's also been a lot of cool music releases by musicians from Central Arkansas. Skull of the Americas, a hardcore band they're just released their new EP. My Hands to War, they dropped their new album, Ursal Kingdom. They had a really, really awesome sold-out show at Vino's to celebrate the record. And if you weren't able to make it, you should at least give the album a spin because it's really, really good. Audacity, a local that I will be doing a little bit more features on later. They have a new song called "Thinking Is for Stupid People" that's available on their Bandcamp, and it's a really awesome song. Now, I don't know if you'd call it. It's basically rock. Two Shot Blondie is a band. It's a local band they just released a new single called "Eyes That Talk," and they're a band that's like they've played some really big shows, and they're really nice people, and just like their new singles are awesome. Their new record's gonna be really good too. And then Spoon Band, my friend Aaron Reynolds, is his new project. It's like kind of a country twangy riff, like rocky kind of. The song "Why Am I" just got released, and I really like the message in the song. It's something that's very relatable, probably to a lot of people. And the album was recorded in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. It's a legendary place. So these are all definitely releases. Another cool hip hop release actually is by a Fayetteville artist named Slam Dunk. He just released a new song called "Stuck in the South," and it's like his music reminds me quite a bit of like the Suicide Boys and stuff. And so if you like that kind of hip hop, this is definitely something for you. Now let me turn my hat around and get into Paul Heyman mode, because I want to break down a little bit more about this TAC wrestling event that's happening in the back room at Vino's. So they've been doing this for a couple of years now, and it's a bunch of wonderful people doing really cool stuff, and like they truly, in my opinion, are bringing back wrestling in the natural state, and I think that's awesome. And so here's the card for this upcoming event. So, CKW heavyweight champion Avrion Gray is going to be taking on Phil Noir, who's kind of like a detective from Texas. This is Avrion Gray's debut with TAC Wrestling and his first time wrestling at Vino's. And he's a friend of mine, and I'm really excited to see what he's able to do. This is really cool. It's cool to see people getting opportunities because there's so many cool wrestlers in the state. Now, the next match is going to feature Herzog versus Austin Ariel. After that, there's a three-way dance featuring Eric Bronson, Drayshawn Prince, and Eli Perez. Then it's Draven Morrow versus Sleazy E in a hardcore match. Now, Sleazy E is a wrestler who I've seen this man get poked in the face and bloody from all kinds of implements. He is a psychopath. He loves blood, and this is going to be a really cool match. Happening after that, Alexander Gold issues an open challenge. Who's it going to be? Will it be Kate Toomer? Will it be somebody else? Who knows? But Alexander Gold is a wrestler that's been doing a lot of these events, and so there's no telling who's going to come out, but it's going to be a badass match no matter what. After that, the penultimate match of the night, it's going to feature fully gifted athletes and Big Spooky. They're going to be taking on the Sons of Salem and Buddy Badcock. And as part of this match, Big Spooky's going to be trying to get he's going to be basically trying to unpossess Buddy Badcock. He's been possessed. He thinks he's a karate master, and he's using his powers for evil, and he's got to be stopped. And so that's kind of a Big Spooky and the gang's match, their goal for this match. And then in the main event, Warwolf is going to take on the Oklahoma Strangler, Chris Morrison. This is for the TAC Heavyweight Championship. Now, Warwolf got the belt recently, and I think this is his first or second defense. And so there's no is he going to be able to keep the title? Who knows? But it's going to be a badass match no matter what. So definitely, if you get a chance to check out TAC Wrestling, especially if you're still on the high from WrestleMania this weekend, this is the event for you. Now, also something really cool that was announced yesterday, the inaugural Crashcast Awards. This is basically going to run. They're just going to start. The categories are going to start being revealed soon, and then it's going to run voting from May 1st until June 15th. And then after that, they'll pick the finalists, and then you can vote on the finalists. And so there's going to be a variety of categories. There's really no telling. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a very cool thing for this music scene. That it's cool that our music scene is big enough and full of enough like active locals that we can actually do stuff like this, and to have more than 4 venues up for like stuff like Venue of the Year, stuff like that. Like there's so many options, and so I think getting to highlight this with the Crashcast Awards and getting to be part of it is very exciting. So stay tuned for more. There'll definitely be more announcements and breakdowns as we get closer. And finally, definitely be sure and check out this week's Crashcast episode with Kay Toomer. He's a really badass wrestler that wrestles both here in Arkansas. He wrestles in Memphis. Actually, he's taking part in a cool April 20th, he's going to be taking part in wrestling matches at Arkansas Travelers Stadium. And so that's going to be a really cool, it's neat to see how they're going to incorporate wrestling into a baseball stadium because there's really no telling. So definitely check out K Toomer. He's somebody that I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in the, like AEW or WWE or somebody big one day because he's that talented. So definitely support him now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be able to talk about all this cool stuff that's happening, talk about all this music that's coming out, and I'm just grateful that people are watching. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Be sure and check me out on Instagram. I've got a really cool spotlight that also dropped today featuring Dandy Lioness. I'm continuing to put spotlights out. I've got them lined up until the end of April. So definitely check that out. Check out the Ringo Report on Facebook. If you aren't already following Crashcast on social media, make sure you do that as well. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time.
Bing bong.
Bing bang!